December the 14th, 1946. New York City. A State Department official walks into a meeting with Denmark's foreign minister carrying a briefcase. Inside are documents proposing $100 million in gold bullion for Greenland. That is over $1.5 billion in today's money. More than America paid for Alaska, Louisiana, and the Gadsden Purchase combined. The Danish minister does not hesitate. No, not interested. Meeting over. The American is stunned. World War II has just ended. Denmark was occupied by Nazis for 5 years. Their economy is destroyed. $100 million in gold would rebuild their entire nation. Brand new roads, modern schools and hospitals, complete economic recovery. Denmark said no to $100 million in gold, actual gold bars sitting in a briefcase, while their country was broke, while their cities lay in ruins from Nazi occupation, while their people struggled just to survive. They said no. And this was not the first time America tried. This was the third attempt across multiple decades. 3 separate offers with increasingly desperate proposals. So why was America so absolutely obsessed with buying a frozen island that nobody else on Earth seemed to want? Because in 1946, America knew something that would change warfare forever. Why would anyone refuse? To understand this, we need to look at what happened during the war, because that is when America's obsession with Greenland began. April 9th, 1940. Germany invades Denmark without warning. Nazi forces cross the border at dawn. Copenhagen falls within hours. Denmark is under complete German occupation. And this creates a terrifying problem for the United States. Denmark still legally owns Greenland, which means Greenland could potentially become Nazi territory. If Germany seizes Greenland, the Nazis have a military base in North America, a staging ground for U-boats, a launching point for attacks on the United States itself. America cannot allow that. In 1941, the United States signs the Defense of Greenland Treaty. America will protect Greenland during the war. The United States military can build whatever they need. American forces flood in. Military engineers build massive bases with long runways for heavy bombers, large fuel storage, and ammunition depots. Radar stations are installed to track German aircraft crossing the Atlantic, and weather monitoring posts are established because Arctic weather affects military operations. Supply chains get established. For 4 years, United States officials studied every inch of Greenland, every fjord, every mountain pass, every strategic position. They mapped it obsessively. By 1945, American commanders realized something crucial. Greenland was not just temporarily useful, it was permanently essential. A new war was brewing, the Cold War with the Soviet Union. Here is why Greenland becomes vital. Bombers in the 1940s cannot fly from Moscow to New York without refueling. The distance is too great. But with bases in Greenland, everything changes. Soviet bombers based in Greenland could hit any American city. American bombers based in Greenland could hit Soviet targets. Whoever controls Greenland controls nuclear. First strike capability. Military planners in Washington become obsessed. They draw circles on maps showing bomber ranges. They calculate distances. They run scenarios. Every analysis shows the same thing. Every circle drawn from Greenland covers critical targets. If the Soviets gain influence over Greenland, the United States is checkmated. The nuclear deterrence strategy falls apart. In early 1946, the Joint Chiefs of Staff make it official. Acquiring Greenland is vital to national security. Not helpful, vital. Without Greenland, America is vulnerable to Soviet nuclear attack. Senator Owen Brewster calls it a military necessity. Internal documents describe Greenland as priceless to the United States and worthless to Denmark. Denmark cannot defend it. Denmark cannot use it militarily. But America can. So they develop a plan. William C. Trimble, a State Department official, writes the proposal. Offer Denmark $100 million in gold bullion, real physical gold. Trimble includes a backup option. If Denmark does not want gold, offer them oil-rich Alaska land. If Denmark had accepted, they would have owned Prudhoe Bay when oil was discovered in 1968. That became America's richest oil field. Denmark would have made hundreds of billions. December 14, 1946. Secretary of State James Burns personally delivers the offer to Foreign Minister Gustaf Rasmussen. $100 million in gold, immediate payment, just sign. But why? Denmark's economy is absolutely wrecked after 5 years of Nazi occupation. Cities are damaged from the war, industries are shut down or operating at reduced capacity, and people are struggling just to feed their families. $100 million in gold would solve literally every financial problem they faced. New infrastructure, economic recovery programs, social services restored, everything Denmark needed to rebuild. So why on earth would they refuse this incredible offer? But the real reason? By 1946, Denmark figured out what the United States knew. Greenland was not worthless. It was incredibly valuable, militarily for nuclear strategy and economically for future mining, fishing, and trade routes. Denmark was not handing that over. The deal dies. The third attempt fails. But the United States does not leave because it still has leverage. Denmark needs American military protection. The Soviet threat is real and growing. In 1951, both countries signed the Greenland Defense Agreement. Denmark kept sovereignty. America gained the right to build and operate military bases, securing the access it needed without buying the territory. Throughout the 1950s and the 1960s, B-52 bombers armed with nuclear weapons flew constant patrols from Thule Air Base. The missions were called Chrome Dome, and they operated continuously for years. The logic behind these missions is absolutely terrifying when you think about it. Thule was positioned so close to Soviet territory that if World War III ever broke out, military planners assumed the Soviets would probably try to destroy Thule immediately in a first strike, to blind American early warning systems. So, American commanders made a decision. Keep nuclear-armed bombers in the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready to retaliate instantly if Thule went silent or was destroyed. January 1968. Disaster. A B-52 bomber on patrol developed a cockpit fire. The crew could not fight it, and they bailed out. The aircraft crashed into the ice near Thule while carrying 4 nuclear weapons. The impact was catastrophic. All 4 weapons ruptured and spread radioactive plutonium across the glacier. Cleanup cost millions of dollars. Some plutonium is still there today. Even after that incident, Thule remains critical. It houses missile warning systems. Today, it is part of the United States Space Force, tracking satellites and monitoring threats. Climate change is melting Greenland's ice sheet at an accelerating rate. The ice is now melting 4 times faster than it was in 2003. During August heat waves, approximately 12 billion tons of ice can melt in a single day. That's almost incomprehensible. As all that ice melts and reveals the bedrock underneath, massive deposits of rare earth minerals essential for modern technology are being discovered. There are oil reserves that were completely inaccessible under ice. There are natural gas deposits. These resources are potentially worth trillions of dollars over the coming decades. New Arctic shipping routes are opening up as ice disappears, making Greenland's geographic position even more strategically valuable than it was during the Cold War. China is investing heavily in Greenland's mining sector. Russia is expanding Arctic military operations. America is watching carefully while maintaining its bases. In 2019, President Trump reportedly suggested buying Greenland again. Denmark's Prime Minister used the same word from 1946. Absurd. In 2025, discussions surfaced again. Denmark still says no, but the obsession has not died. 3 attempts spanning 80 years. Hundreds of millions were offered. Decades of military presence, all for an island most people cannot find on a map. The ice is melting. Within our lifetimes, we will see what Greenland looks like underneath. We will discover what resources are really there. Every major power is positioning for that moment. William Trimble thought $100 million in gold would be enough in 1946. It was not. Some things cannot be bought at any price. But that never stops countries from trying. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think America will ever stop trying to acquire Greenland? And what happens when the ice completely melts? If you want more on Greenland's mysteries, check out the video on why it appears blank on satellite maps.